Hey, good evening, everybody. It's KB5MIQ, big boy. We're going to kind of reiterate a subject that I've talked about a good bit in the past. My last video, I talked about how you younger guys can be Elmers and helping us older guys with some of these new things that's going on in the hobby. Uh, I've always tried to support any mode or practice that this hobby says we can do. FCC says we got it, we can do it. There's a lot of stuff you can do in ham radio. I just touched the tip of the iceberg in it on what I participate in. But I've never had a problem what anybody else does with it. In fact, I encourage it. Um, One thing that the hobby's getting away from, and I know young guys are going to think I'm crazy for bringing this up again, but QSL cards. QSL cards may be old, may be outdated, but it's just a good personal way of promoting the hobby. And when you bring another ham into your shack to, hey, ham radio cat, to look at your shack, a potential ham especially, uh, that's eye catching to them. Like I said before, I got a I love me wall in there in our living room of military and retirement plaques and shadow boxes. It doesn't get a second look except when I look at it. But I've had more than one new guy come in here and into my shack. Whoa, wait a minute. You talk to all these people you got on the wall? Yeah, well, that's pretty cool. All right, so that's something to think about. Uh, I know Logbook of the World, everybody uses it because it's an easy way to keep track, get your confirmations for your awards. I'll admit that. In fact, I use Logbook of the World myself. And if it hadn't been for the YouTuber Suburban DXing Scott Whiskey X-Ray Zero Victor, I probably wouldn't have got my uh, Logbook of the World set up. Uh, do I? I'll be honest with you. If I'd have known what it was starting out, I probably wouldn't have messed with it. I've always been a paper logbook guy and QSL cards. But Scott's help, I was able to use it. And one reason I still upload all of my contacts to Logbook of the World is strictly because if I work a contact and the guy's working for one of his awards, it'll help him. I want it in there, so that'll help with their awards. I got no problem with doing that. To me, the QRZ logbook is super easy to use, and QRZ.com is a really good way to help you make it easier to send QSL cards. Like I said in the past, you used to have to subscribe to a call book they published, big, thick, bigger and thicker than Dallas, Texas phone book in the old days with everybody's call sign in it and address. Now, QRZ, you look it up, check their bio, says whether they QSL card or not, and what they require to do it with. Uh, I've already sent. I'm on my second 100 I've ordered from cheapqsl.com, and I hate it they not taking new customers. They just keeping the old customers going. But I probably got less than 30 back, 30 to 40 back. That's just the way. I don't understand it. I know mail was messed up for a long time with COVID, but it's just a good way to personalize a hobby and may help keep the hobby going and may help it pique someone's interest in the hobby by doing that. I personally love QSL cards. My rule of thumb on sending cards is this. I finally got a card from all 50 states. So I don't chase state cards anymore. But if I have a listener, a subscriber tells me on, hey man, I'll listen to you, I'm going to send you a card. I don't expect one in return. If I talk to a new ham, I just sent two new hams cards from contacts here about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't expect one back. That's just my way of welcoming them into the hobby. Um, if I send a card wanting one back, I will put it in a large envelope with a return envelope in there with it. And if it's an overseas card, they need $3 or $4 postage, I'll put it in there and fold it all up in a piece of copier paper where you can't really see it that well. And I found out on overseas, especially overseas QSL cards, do not put call signs on the envelope. Just put their name and address. One of them emailed me back, told me to stop doing that because they were having trouble with people in their country stealing the dollars in the mail. So, but, and it doesn't have to be a fancy card. I got one from Michigan on the wall over here. Guy took a 3x5 index card, put his call sign, contact info on it, date and everything, sent it to me. It's a personalized way of saying you've done the contact. You know, I'll never get another card from Michigan and replace his with it. That'll always be on my stack of cards, my area for worked all states. I know I sound like a broken record talking about them, but if there's anything we can do as a hobby to promote it, promote camaraderie, friendship, and just keeping the hobby going in general, I think even though postage is a little high now and it's an old, outdated way of doing things, I know used to before Logbook of the World, if you wanted your DXCC award or your WAS award, ARRL, you had to send your logbook and your QSL cards in. And I think you can still do that. Now, I'm not sending mine in. It took me several years to get all states. I didn't do it for the award anyway. I just done it so I could say I got a card from all 50 states. But with all the negativity we have in the world today, just a little personalized touch might help somebody stay in the hobby, or when you bring somebody a prospective ham into your shack and they see cards hanging on the wall, it might pique their interest up enough. We got enough competition with these things right here. We're trying to keep people into the hobby, or get new, especially younger people into the hobby. New tech is one good way of doing it. I agree with new tech coming into the hobby. I really do. But am I going to sit there and tell you everybody needs to learn Morse code and make them better ham? No, I'm not going to tell you that. That has nothing to do with you being a better ham. The QSL card, though, I think helps promote the hobby both stateside and internationally. And I think it's just one of the good things the history of this hobby's had that we need to keep doing. We may get crucified for this video, but I just felt like it needed to be said. I got a card from South Cook Islands this week, got a card from Poland last week. Tickled to death to get them. They're already on the wall. So, one thing about sending QSL cards, especially overseas, it's probably a good idea to use those peel and stick envelopes instead of the old lick type envelopes. In fact, the guy from Cook Islands specifically said if you wanted me to send you a card back, send me a peel and stick envelope because the humidity would cause the envelopes to stick before you got a chance to use them. And that's all I'm going to start using from now on. The cards don't have to be fancy. Make a card. There's QSL card maker programs on the web you can use. I used to use one of them before I started buying my cards again. But send a QSL card out and collect them and display them in your shack. All right, well, that's all I can think of for today. We had a lot of storms in the area all week. Hope everybody's come through them all right. Remember, Main Trading Company in Paris, Texas. He's got a lot of stock on antennas up there now, plus his usual used stock is busted at the seams. There'll be a couple of slides on here about upcoming Ham Fest. Shreveport's coming up in August. Mina's coming up in September. I'm planning on trying to attend both of them. I appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. Anybody's got any suggestions, feel free to leave me some comments. I've been getting some real good comments lately, and I really enjoy hearing from you guys. This is KB5 MIQ Big Boy, 73.